I don't know if anyone will be here. Just gonna wait a moment. um, I might use this as an opportunity to leave the room for a second. So I'm going to leave a little message. Whoops. Let's see. Yeah, it's 99. I think everything is recording. I think so. Hello. I think it's recording. Switch to you. Say something. Slow mode is on. Okay, so right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave for a moment. I have to just visit the restroom. Okay. Then we will tackle tonight some numbers and kindness, observing ourselves and others, navigating clarity in the mix. Love is not a doormat. This whole thing that I wrote because I was having observation of myself today in the world. So navigating clarity and consciousness in the mix. Sometimes it gets messy, but you must take care of you. And in long run, you will discover with more heart how to say something and how not to, but especially not feel guilty. As it takes two to meet in the intersection. Love is not a doormat or an excuse of. Perhaps we can also replace the word boundaries with the notion that nothing cannot get in unless we allow it. Learn from and right in that moment still catch yourself to say what is or not for you. It has nothing to do with being mean or dominant over that moment. You have recognized what works for you and you must speak up or live with what you did not prefer and profess and process. That too, extra personal work. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to let go of your own judgment and observe and respond? Let's see what comes up from the cards. So today it's like, let's just put on the table. Let's just say we are in that arena. We are in that level. We are in that path of observing ourselves, observing others. And truly our intent and all we do is just be ourselves, which is love and kind. Now, in the midst, we may create by default and have uncomfortable or bumpy circumstances, or in our own energy being tired, and in the attraction of our own soul path, we may then have other people, entities come in, I call them also entities, other souls, excuse me, and they may challenge us. And it may be like, oh, an unexpected, what do I say? How do I be? How do I handle this? And the fact is, you can feel sometimes that other people are just expecting you to go along with what they've done, whether they've hired you, whether they're a relative, whether they're normally used to getting something out of you, or you're used to behaving a particular way. So people are just showing up expecting that because they paid for you, or that they love you, or that they like you, or they're part of your tribe, your group, or they just need help, that you can help them all the time. You can just drop everything and be that which they feel they've conjured, and usually by default. But what it does for you is an opportunity. And sometimes those opportunities are bumpy, and you may not be as eloquent in a delivery. Sometimes you are with humor, and it is just what it is. And sometimes you're just going to show up and you're going to be like, I can't do that. That's like, you taking advantage of me. And I can't let that happen. Now, I wish you well. I don't want to be mad at you, but, you know, That can't happen because I'm here to do this and you want this and we're not the same. We're not a match. And there are things in myself that I do expect myself to be at a higher bar, but some moments, you're not going to be at a high bar for whatever reason under the umbrella of you're a divine, wonderful creation in a physical body. Sometimes your apparatus is low on energy. Sometimes it's a whole different ball of energy coming at you that you haven't had practice enough with, haven't had either practice enough taking care of yourself, didn't expect it would show up because you are so protected. You are so protected. You are so loved. You are protected. You are so loved you can behave any way you want. You are so loved you can hold on to change. You're so loved you can smack down other people. You're so loved to create what you wish that you can do that. So maybe you've had a bumpy. I had a little bit of a bumpy today, not a lot, just like one or two. But they were good bumpies. And they were good bumpies because I learned something from it. And they were good bumpies because there's just now, interestingly, one person I did perceive as a diva. And a couple of things when I do my job, you can be you, but you ain't being a diva and tell me what to do. And that's my perception. Now, you can have your opinion. I could maybe hear you differently. But there's some moments I perceive you as a diva. I don't help you. Could be on me, absolutely, 100%. But make a decision. Done. If also you hire me, whether it's this or driving, and you assume I am going to wait for your appointment 10 to 25 minutes. That's assuming because as a driver, we do show up and I'll even wait. I've waited 10 minutes. I probably waited 7 to 12 minutes. But you assume I'm going to take you to now it has become an appointment before I bring you home, which is not on there, and I'm going to help you. Well, I learned something about myself. I started to help someone, and it was just feeling like totally wrong. I didn't have enough information. It started to come out more why this person needed help, and I get they needed help. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. They were on their trajectory, but I could not be part of that trajectory. And I wasn't wonderfully curt. I wasn't wonderfully, I wouldn't call it nice. It was just like, no, this is not working for me. And your ladies just assume I would do something. And anyway, I'm backing out of a drive-through backup in my car. I'm smacking my car on the kind of the way the sidewalk is aligned to make you go a certain way. And mostly because I was just, I caught myself being used, and that might not be the right term, but caught myself out of alignment, and I caught myself with someone that wanted me to be out of alignment, and I caught myself kind of not being that gracious, because I can still be gracious even if it's not going to work. And I just said, good luck with this, but you're assuming that I'm going to stop my other work to do this for you for the next whatever, because I'm going to be losing other business. And for me, it really mattered at the time because I knew I was only going to work for so long. I knew that I needed to go after those dollars for now, just because I was going to cut myself off. And I also knew that because the young ones didn't know how to articulate with me, I could have taught them something sort of in a backhanded way, as they were teaching me in a backhanded way. And it's all good because it was just more information. It was more information. My apparatus was tired, and they were kind of in their little bit of a desperate place. Now, my heart goes out to anybody in that needs to get something done. And I did judge. She wanted to get, not a shot. She wanted to get a COVID test. And that's up to her. She wants to get a COVID test. But it's like, there's things happening. She was refused the COVID test inside. They wanted to go outside and be in a car. She didn't have a car. So a Lyft driver was going to be. No Lyft driver who's on a roll for their dollars is going to wait in a pharmacy line that's going to be a minimum of 10, but it depends how many cars are in front of you, to 20 plus minutes. Hi. And then have her do her thing. It's not going to happen because we are cab drivers. We want to help you. We want to be there for you. But it's called, I'm bringing you to your address safely. I'll help you with your groceries or your wheelchair. I'll even go a little bit out of my way if I can. But to hold my work up for, minimum 10 plus minutes, because it's people in front of me plus your assignment, and then take you home, and I'm missing, and it wasn't going to work. So I caught myself because I'm usually even more gracious and more explanative. But they got it. I mean, of course, I was swearing, and the other person on the phone said she's swearing at you, and I'm like, no, I was swearing because I was smacked my car into the curb twice. It like that thing that noise makes when your front bumper is scraping something in your window goes. So I'm noticing today how the energies are delivering news on television, how people today, we're still talking old news. I'm still talking sometimes old news to people when I profess this of a bigger umbrella. Not all the time, not every second. I'm still observing myself that I don't mince my words, but I will sometimes choose language so that the person can understand me. Because there are people I drive that are totally into God as the Bible. So not wanting to build a wall, but wanting to express and communicate well to my point of view to bridge with their point of view. But what I noticed today is kindness, our miscommunication, relationships. All these relationships are teaching us about us. And when we continue to have a practice of observation, we're still observing and we're growing in our own mastering. You have to remember that we're now just awakening for the most part. Even most people who said, oh, they were psychic and make a living that way, they're going through their thing too. And we're observing, where amnesia is lifting, we're awakening. There are little parts to us, even little nano parts that we may have felt were not as nice sometimes. And that may be true at moments. There's times we're not communicating as well as we could. That may be true at some moments. And we're noticing others that we're in relationship and who we let others and what situations we let our strings be tugged. And the point is to cut a little bit of slack for yourself. Because in that moment, you do the best that you can do. In that moment, you do the best that you can do. In that moment, you are doing the very best you can do, whatever that is. And most of it is do not judge yourself. As we say, we will do our best not to judge others, not to send that negativity of judgment out there. We have to not judge ourselves that, oh, we could have been just a little more articulate, a little bit more clear in communication, a little bit more, oh, that's my title that I wear, spiritual leader, teacher, intuitive, or psychic, or mother, or whatever it is. Sometimes you gotta cut yourself a little bit of slack as you are right in that moment that was created perfectly, where two people showed up, or three or four, and now the navigation of the true remembering what to do shows up. We have to cut ourselves a little slack. For example, I don't think my delivery was completely rude and whatever, but it came from a point of view like a little bit, I didn't say this, a little bit in the back of my head. Lady, did you really think? Like, hello, this is like a cab service. It's not like a wait for you forever service. But they needed some help. And normally, under circumstances, I help everybody. I help everyone, just a lot of things. But it was really not right for me to detain that which I was on my trajectory for. And I started to see how this was feeling and help this person, but it felt so like this feels not right. It does feel wrong. So I wanted to talk about, and it's still a similar thing that we bring up with the cards. I bring up with the cards, but navigating clarity and consciousness in this mix. So it's going to get messy sometimes because we're in the human body. We're divine entities of goddess, godness, but we're in the human body. So sometimes that which we perceive will be a little off. Sometimes that which we perceive, maybe not quite alignment. And if it is perceived as we so are perceiving, and if we are in alignment, we do still best we can do. Sometimes there are other little dominoes set up just before that meeting, and we get to see just how fine-tuned we are. But especially, are you being a doormat? You can still be love and say no. You can still be love and say, get out. You can still be love and say, get out. You can say it different ways, however you need to do in that moment, but it is taking care of you first to exponentially harness your power, your solidarity, your sovereignty, your steadfast, rooted, not so steadfast to the ground, like a tree that you can never move, but a tree that bends in the wind. And also, you would still follow up, even silently, with a mantra of, bless these people, I wish them well. Bless that person, I wish them well. Going by homeless people, maybe you don't give $1 to everybody. Maybe you don't give nothing to anybody, but you can say, bless this person, I wish them well. I don't have that kind of wherewithal to stand on the corner. Bless that person, wish them well. So let's see what the cards have to say. And I'm going to just call it just navigating our path. Things get messy, but taking care of you. And especially that not feeling guilty part. Because mastery and understanding ourselves and getting clear with ourselves, we're going to spend a lot of time on the planet. Some days in our beautiful creation, just for spice and mix, there might be something bumpy. The dog throws up. Cat has to go to the hospital. We leave the wrong message for someone and tell someone we are, and it may not even feel like a trigger. I don't even know that I was triggered today. I felt it was more like, there's some things that just don't work for me. It don't work for me if you act like diva and I don't know you. That's okay. You can, but I don't know. I may not want to know you. I may say, they may be fine or they may be diva. If they diva, I perceive they are this moment. Click. I will help you. Get another ride. It's okay. Because I didn't want the energy in my car. Wish I could help the second girl. But I wasn't going to wait in line. In that line, so there's 3 cars before me. I think it's going to be 2 minutes at the pharmacy window. Very close to 5 minutes per car. Closer. 4 minutes. 3 minutes. Depends what the technician has on the other side of the window inside the pharmacy. And if it's the only technician, they're going to answer the phone. They're going to wait at the window. They're going to help the person in line. They're going to alternate back and forth. And now I'm the 4th car in line. It's not what Lyft drivers or Uber drivers do. You don't wait for appointments. That'd be a choice. That'd be a choice. And my choice was, no, I need to move forward and do what I need to do. And I can't help you. And I got into the line behind the cars and no one came in back of me. So I was not stuck. Otherwise, I would have been committed and mad at myself. Now, I don't know why I pulled in thinking, well, maybe I could do this because I really want to help this person. Then I really saw the bigger picture, which is like Coyote Ritza is not going to have a happy, next half hour, 40 minutes. That's not what I wanted to do. So you have to say no. You have to take care of yourself. You can be nice. It's not about being nice. It's not about not being good. It's not about being dominant. It's not about anything rude. It's just like, you're just taking care of yourself. Your neighbors are loud. It's 11 o'clock at night. Not being mean. Gotta go to sleep. They're loud. They don't know they're loud. They're having too much fun. They don't care about you. You gotta say something. If not to them, you gotta say something to the police because sometimes people need authority figures. You can call anonymously, but you gotta step up and take care of yourself. You don't do it, you then take on this other junk. So navigating again this time, let's see what the cards have to say. Basically taking care of ourselves. And when it gets messy, how to look at ourselves. So navigating our own truth during this time and observing. And if it gets messy, just letting go, like not even going to the place of guilt, just our power, just saying what's so. You're not being evil twitch on someone, just saying no or no. Can come out different ways. It depends what's going on in your day and where you were in your lightness and all the stack that's been handed to you and what you're observing and what you're observing about yourself. But it's okay. And even if you got to the point where you stabbed somebody, I guess, and deal with all that next steps, ultimately, that would have been part of your game. That would have been part of the plan. That would have been the miscreation, even, and part of your plan to look at the bigger picture and navigate then through that. But I think right now people are showing up with me. They're not stabbing people, which is good. Because I think sometimes if we were really loaded down with vampires and zombies, I'd have to have a stick and stick them. But we're not talking about that tonight. We're just talking about observing and navigating and letting go guilt, because we don't need to feel guilt. Just need to see present, stay present, and observing and respond. So I still haven't got it very, very down like to a sentence, but like, let's see if I'm gonna pull from here. Staying in our power, not just kindness, observing kindness and enjoying your moment of taking care of yourself. Even enjoying your moment of taking care of yourself. So I never left the room, Deborah. So I'm gonna leave the room now. I will be back in 2 minutes. And we're just gonna shuffle some cards. And I'm gonna leave you with these two that I did pick, which is interesting that she came up again, the High Priestess, and the 10 of Earth. I did turn over the 7 of Fire is kind of calling me, but I kind of want to leave it to the side right now. So I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so. Going into guilt, mastering ourselves, and kindness where love is not a doormat, courage of clarity, and frequencies around how we're taking care of ourselves as things show up, what we say to others, and the intention of how we say things to others. So we're going to navigate. Navigating clarity and consciousness in the mix where love is not a doormat, taking on our power, and letting go any guilt around speaking up, basically. So I hope you had another good day. My day was a good day. Just started late or later. Very windy here tonight. Wow. Okay. So it's very interesting. Okay. Well, 2 cards were upside down, and I normally don't read upside down, but I'm just going to say there are a couple of things that were temporarily a stall. And the reason I do that is because, one, I can kind of see already what's going on. Okay. Still new numbers. I'm going to take the numbers from these two. And then the oracle. If I'm guided, I'll add them together. Otherwise, it's just going to be an interesting overview number and then this number. It just depends. Sometimes I feel very strongly about, oh wow, we got 2 8s in a row. You're not going to believe this. 3 8s. And then a 7. And then these two is a 2 and a 10. Which will be 12, 4, 3. Okay, 16. That'll be 5. So I gotta tell you something. Right now, with every single card, the tarot and the oracles, it's an 8. Okay. I was just curious. So these two cards come to 12 or 3. I have 3 cards that add to 8, and one is 7 because there's 4 oracle cards. That total number for the oracle cards is 23, which is 5. And 5 and 3 is 8. So pretty much I've had 3 8s in a row for sure. And then there's 8, 8, 8, and 8. So there's like 4 8s that were inclusive here. So we will look up numbers. And my throat is not doing well. It's feeling catchy and froggy. And I'm going to, and it's interesting because I usually get more than 4 oracle cards. And I think I will see what that 7 of fire, I won't include that right now, but I'm just curious later to what it might mean. But we'll stick with this because this is feeling really strong to have it this way. So again, all my cards, yeah, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Thank you, I'm glad you stayed. So again, I feel like, and I'm sure it's also for me, but maybe I think out there too, it's like navigating our path. We're in our mastery. We're learning how to speak up. We're learning not to feel guilty about speaking up. We're learning that there are things we love. We love to be nice to people. We love to be kind. We love to just be. We love to live. We love to, help or serve. But love is not a doormat. And sometimes it's going to come out nicer, quote unquote, than other times. It doesn't mean you're dominant or you care less about humanity or even that person. But it just means, I'm taking care of myself and I can't help you tonight. And quite frankly, you might consider that you were a little rude. Now, that was not your intention. Your intention was to help yourself. So my intention is mine to help myself too. And I have to come first. And when I come first, I help the world overall because I've spoken up and I haven't sucked it up because people are needy and I'm the only one. And gee, they're paying me, or oh, that's my such and such, and they love me and I ought to act better because after all, I'm responsible. But blah blah blah. It's like, no, there's too much story, too much definition, too much stepping back from your power. So let's see what the cards have to say about our power and about, letting go any guilt or too much definition, too much judgment. And really just navigating that we are kind and being in the mix that sometimes it's messy and messy's okay. That's one way we learn. Because if everything were super, 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 super smooth and we didn't have this way to negotiate and observe and see and make some decisions and roll with everything, quite frankly, I was going to swear, you'd be a fucking master ascended 22nd, 2900 level Arcturian, Palladian. I wouldn't see you. You might come to me in a dream. I might see you in my third eye. But you ain't on Earth because nobody, unless the Palladian has agreed to alter themselves in some way, is fully here right now. I mean, are they all here right now? They're here. Are they here sometimes because we're able to channel them? I agree. If they come here, do they need to probably do something to acclimate? Yeah. But if you're going to tell me you're ascended master at level 22, excuse me, even if you're 7 or 8, hello, I don't, you're not going to really, you're going to look a little different. You're going to glow. You're going to look like Charlton Heston that came off the fake mountain in his space glow. I mean, so, let's get real with each other. We are in our mastery, even if we're like super, like Jesus consciousness, Jesus Christ consciousness, and we are like 12, 27 days out of the month, we're a spot on. Sometimes we have a little hiccup. Our apparatus gets low. Something in the mix for us to fine tune and learn. So let's just like be real with each other and yeah, absolutely develop and be in our intuition and psychic ability and all these emotions that we have. So sometimes things get messy. Sometimes kind of comes in a different way. But absolutely you have to take care of yourself and let any guilt or judgment or a definition of that go. Find more fun and freedom and like I took care of myself. I wish them well. I took care of myself. You know. And sometimes you do drive along and go, "Oh, they're an asshole. Yeah, come here, go, you asshole." I bless everybody that goes by me. I bless everybody that goes by me. Even if I cuss them a second, I said, "Bless you, dumbass." I bless them. They're temporary dumbass. Because they have something on their mind. I got something on my mind. Plus, as a professional driver, often a little bit more than most. You got a lot of things you are navigating and thinking, and I think I'm generally a little bit more road savvy. Do I have some moments I'm off? Yeah, absolutely. Like even tonight, I'm off a little bit, not completely, but just more fine tuning about letting go, navigating more clarity, taking good care of yourself, let go guilt, just observing. And you can sense inside yourself if you were observing in kind or if you were observing kind of like, I wish I had a steak and I smacked him. I wish I had a steak and I smacked him. No, temporarily. So good thing we don't create right now. Like we're going to really, really be, right? We want to be instant manifestors, but it's a good thing we don't do it just like that within 2 seconds because some things we wouldn't really wish we would, don't want to smash, So we really are fine tuning, and it's okay. So let's see what the angels have to say about. Ta-da! Okay, so the theme about this, kindness and miscommunication and relationships and observing and all this, being gentle about letting go and the non-judgment really with ourselves and just letting go different. Like sometimes we have just so much, even now, blah 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 blah, so much definition. But what's the theme? What are they saying about the theme tonight this weekend? Okay, wow. The first card. I'm sorry, my throat is really challenged. Just happened sometime this afternoon. I really haven't been wearing coats. It's been sunny and cool, sunny and windy. Who knows, right? But yeah, part of watching my apparatus and taking care of myself. So let's see what the High Priestess is about. High Priestess mystery. Some things are not meant to be known intellectually, but are meant to be experienced through intuition. This card reminds me to trust that I have access to higher wisdom and knowing when I tune in and trust my vibes. This is the time when mysteries will be revealed and I can grow as a result. So let's say you have to make a decision. It may look unkind, it may look abrupt, it may look whatever you want, whatever. But you make it because inside it's calling you. Because you have to trust those vibes. Because whatever mysteries they are, they're going to be revealing your mastery. Yes, you grow as a result. So two. And two, I always say it's balance and yin and yang, but there's something else about it that's going to strike us here. Co-create with the universe. Be as a partner. It's a number of optimism and seeking harmony. So of course, there are times when it looks like you're abrupt or not the word kind, but you're absolutely taking care of yourself. You're in the moment. You're not a doormat. You absolutely, in your mastery, have to say no. You're absolutely in your mastery, have to take care of yourself. You're absolute in this mastery, make different decisions where, of course, you're there, you're of service, you want to help, you want to jump in. And yes, it could be your son. And yes, it could be your grandson. And yes, it could be a friend, a stranger, a family. It could be your pets. And sometimes you have to say, no, not now, or no, or no. No, that's kind of taking advantage of me. It came last minute. I didn't expect it. No, you will, I trust, find another way. I bless you. Bye. Have it breathe and breathe into your power. And sometimes it comes out like that. And sometimes it is, like I said, it's, you know, that happened to me last night. Someone called me for a ride. They were an hour away. I have to go an hour to bring them home 15 minutes. I have to go home an hour. Was she going to pay me $100? I don't think so. I could have asked. I also was very tired in my pajamas. If I could have helped her, if I really could have helped her, if I really, 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 it wasn't like she was desperate. Who made the phone call was an English speaking and Spanish speaking coworker. Somewhere in there, someone was going to show up to help her. But I'm an hour away, so it made no sense. If I was fully present and not ready to go to bed, if she were dying, if she were totally dying, something different. But you have to make decisions. You have to make a decision. Trust it. It doesn't come from being unkind. It's just something that is, you can feel it. It's not correct to move forward. It wasn't correct for me to help this young lady thinking I'm going to wait with her in line for her appointment after 3 other people in a drive-through and take her home. It was an assumption. It was kind of a disrespectful thing, kind of an assumption. They didn't mean it that way, but they just hoping it would. So they're going to learn something about communicating too, and or figuring other things out. Their coping skills are going to improve. And mine, honoring my intuition, myself, my true how I felt, just made me move forward and meet other people and finish out my night 4 rides after. I knew when I needed to rest my apparatus, I knew I needed to take care of me. So again, I know I'm explaining too much, Lucy, but I'm explaining because you in that moment will know you were taking care of yourself. So you're co-creating with the universe. You're watching those vibes because you're going to end up a more powerful, a more clear, a more insightful, a more wise, a more perfect manifestor that in moments of even manifesting by default, you're still going to be extremely wise about the navigation of this all. Okay, so the 10 of Earth. This is such a cool card, isn't it? The 10 of Earth. Oh, you know what? What's in there? There is a wolf. There is a wolf in here. And there's a treasure chest. There's wealth in here. This is a cool card. This is an abundant card. This is one of intuition partnering with nature. Does she have something on her shoulder? Oh, she has wings. Okay, let's see if I can get this different. There's wings, the wolf, the chest overflowing, fiery red hair. Okay, 10 of Earth. Affluence, material abundance, mastery, financial security, inherited wealth, and knowledge. I'm now able to step back and observe. I'm able to step back and observe the results of what I built through my dedication and hard work. I claim ownership of castles I built and have taken form in the material world. I have achieved mastery and inherited treasures of knowledge and experience thanks to all I have been through. I smile appreciatively at my run of good fortune. So I'm going to take that as, oh yes, love is not your doormat. You are fine-tuning your mastery by observing, by saying what's so, taking care of your energy, learning better and better fine-tuning communication with racial relationships, and through the messiness of observing, through that which you've asked and taken care of yourself, your wealth is there. The wealth of the knowledge of just that experience. The wealth of the knowledge that is on the heels of everything because you did take care of yourself. Because when you take care of yourself and you've allowed your own growth and to be a new person and this knowledge coming in and things that you're looking forward to do, that's wealth right there, and it's going to let a floodgate come in, and that's how I'm taking that card. And 10, which number 1, excuse me, straight like an arrow, strong and assertive, know thyself, the power within, a great start to new beginnings. So just like now, observing how we are with others, navigating that love is not a doormat, whether on purpose or by default, all a time of new beginnings, a new way of being yourself. I'm saying no when you need to, or backing off, just taking care of your own energy, taking care of your vibes. Let me just see what her numbers are here. Because it will say, woohoo! So let's do 2 is the energy of collaboration or partnership with another person or spirit. I'm not alone co-creating something new with the energy of this element. So we are co-creating with spirit and learning from, and we are co-creating with others, strangers, or those that we know. And we are getting to decide our vibe, where we want to be, how we want to respond. We can observe our behavior, observing our behavior to give an answer. If it shifts, and you've got to speak up. And you've got to let go when again. You've got to let go a way of perceiving that you must always follow through when someone is asked of you, because sometimes it just doesn't feel right. Sometimes it doesn't feel right. So what does she have down for 10? 10, the energy of completion and firm ending of cycles, the manifestation of the element in undeniable, observable ways. Think, I'm experiencing concrete results. The clouds have broken. The evolution is complete. I can move on to the next experience. So even as we take it in terms of our own co-creating our relationships, our learning, we're learning and we're mastering this. And from all that we observe, we now can take on that observance, can take on that manifestation as a learned thing, as a powerful thing, as a wealthy thing. The wolf is, can you look it up? What's the wolf totem? This is really cool. What's the spiritual symbology of wolf?
According to Uni Guide, wolf symbolism and meaning includes loyalty, family and friendship, teamwork, protection, wildness, freedom, instincts, playfulness, and other noble traits.
The wolf partnered with you, the wolf inside you, the wolf as you. It's not always sneaky and degenerative and always wily or misbegotten, treacherous. Loyalty, family and friendship, teamwork. Loyalty to even yourself, family and friend, all kinds of strangers, teamwork. Protection, protection of yourself, guardian protection. Wildness, being you, being different, speaking up. Freedom, you are free. You are free to speak up. You are free to say, well, wait a minute, can't do it. No. Instincts, your instinct to listen to that vibe that's going on in you. And playful, like you don't really need to be rotten to anybody. So as a party, you can turn everything around to humor. And other noble traits, virtue, intelligence, the kindness, the justice, a lightness, the good intent, a goodness of spirit. It's really wonderful. So I could go on. There's more to say, but we're gonna go on to the oracle part. So move with the flow. This is a good one to read as well because I like what the author said. I don't remember off the top of my head what she said, but this is a number 8. We're going to see what the tarot and my numbers have down for 8, but I always thought this was a plentiful card of you as goddess or god being surrounded by the heart energy of nature and spirit. The industry, I don't know that. I guess you wouldn't call it a beehive pie, call it a wasp pie. Still, it's a tribe, and yet sometimes it's a little bit of bittersweet in the flow. And also the beavers, companions. There's also number 2 there, which is interesting, right? So number 2 for that balance, that yin and yang, the support of the universe, creating with the universe, the flow of water. Water is such a powerful element, right? As a gas, as the liquid, as a solid, and that we are a lot of water in our bodies, so we need to hydrate and drink fluids that are helpful to our bodies. And look at this. This is like overflowing. That even though there's a little bit of, the learning that comes up, the messiness that can be in life, a little bit of sting, to still be with the flow of it all. Be in your heart element. Be kind because you are kind. You are from love. And you have these two nature, the otter, which I know is really good at doing. Oops, I don't remember the otter energy is. But that one is a good one as well. So 26 is would be 56. I want to read it because be like flowing water, moving smoothly over obstacles, changing form and adapting to the inconsistent weather in your life, freezing, flowing, pooling, and becoming fluid again. So you see, even in observing ourselves, in how we're co-creating and how we're in relationship, becoming fluid again. So you see, even in observing ourselves, in how we're co-creating and how we're in relationship and how we're observing others, we can be in a flow. And if you're caught up in a flow and it doesn't feel right, and you don't want to paddle up, sit downstream, you want to paddle upstream, you want to go with the flow. You want to flow downstream, you want to paddle upstream. Gotta take care of yourself. That's going with the flow too. And otters, let's see. Spiritual meaning of otters. Are they otters or beavers? They beavers, I'm sorry.
According to Unica,
Whoop. Spiritual meaning of beavers.
according to Spirits of the West Coast Art Gallery, the beaver helps people understand the dynamics of teamwork and to appreciate each individual's talents and contributions in order to accomplish anything. He is a builder of the mind, body, and soul and symbolizes creativity, creation, cooperation, persistence, and harmony.
So you see, even those others that show up for us, whether we felt we haven't by default or on purpose, but learning, it's all observing, it's all responding, it's all deciding, being your vibe, taking care of yourself. They're showing up too. They're showing up too to help you with your mastery. And actually, you're showing up for them too. They have to learn something about themselves. It's not like a either or. It's everything is connected to everything else. Everyone is really connected to everyone else. And today, if I didn't have nothing to do, if I wasn't on a different trajectory, if that young woman was my last ride, I would have said, fuck it. I would have stayed in the line. But they don't know. They hoped against their hope or they're trying to find their way. And I'm sure she will get her COVID test one way or the other. It may not have been the way that they thought they could get it. And they'll navigate something else. And I wish that for them. Although, now here's a segue part. I did have a judgment. I said, I don't know why you want to get a COVID test. That, they just want to find something wrong with you. I wouldn't do it if I were you. But that was at the end of my. I was also slightly aggravated with my car hitting the curve. Hitting the curve of trying to get out of this drive-through. It wasn't like a regular drive-through. It was a drive-through, but it had like sidewalk barriers on either side, like, now that you're in the drive-through, you can't leave. I was like, oh, I'm leaving. But I was like, I thought it was so long. I thought it was past the sidewalk thing of it. I don't know I don't know who thought that dumbass they should just get rid of it. I don't know. That's about it. What's that cat doing? I have a cat that's somehow trying to open up a drawer or in a drawer already. I'm not sure where she is. Okay. We will go to number 8 in a moment. Disconnect and go underground for a while. Those connecting with our ancestors trying to help us with all of this stuff. To me, right now, with my question that I asked and researching, I'm just going to take it that we are being guided, we are being connected to our roots, we are ascending, we are getting information, we are becoming masters. We can go into the cave. We can need some private time for ourselves. And this is what you know when you're willing to observe and respond, listen to spirit, maybe be quiet. In fact, I've been kind of feeling like, wow, is this particular thing with my throat? Does it mean I need to stay in bed tomorrow? I had said to my cat today, oh, I think I just want to have a day where I just spend all day in bed with you and not do anything. Yeah, one of those days is coming because it's a good creation day too, to stay still and go within. Disconnect and go underground. No, you have to pardon me while I kind of want to read 34. Yeah. Disconnecting yourself from people or a certain situation may be necessary and beneficial. You may emerge from your seclusion at just the right moment to do the dance of joy. Well, you may not always have time to always disconnect yourself, but you can disconnect from those definitions that hold you back. You can recreate definitions. You can observe what you were thinking that got you to act and be a certain way. And at some point, isn't that baggage like it feels like the weights and the chains of Jacob Marley? Like, stop it already. Make decisions, vibe, wish people well, move on. Okay, maybe easier said than done. If all of a sudden we're waking up, we're wanting to ascend, we're getting amnesia lifted. But the fact is, since this is such a time of mastery and awakening, do it. You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose. Zero. You can always go back to where you used to be. You can always go back to being mixed up and not wanting any information and not taking full accountability and not, nope. Thanks for like the lessons of mastery, but no, I'm just going to stay the way that I was. I like my little life the way it is. Don't send me anything new. Go the other way. I'm doing my best not to. That's what this channel is about. It's not going the other way. It's recognizing if you are the other way, to make some choices and to let your vibe be and to be with all you observe, all that is, and move forward. Because we're here to move forward. We're here to move forward and rediscover us, to master ourselves, which is really interesting because our high self is there and here sometimes and whispering in our ear, knowing everything but saying, keep playing. I'm right here. Keep playing. Play. I'm right here. Play. Just, all right, you're right here. You messed up. That's good. That's good. More messy sometimes, the better. May not feel the better. But if we can start to have our new definitions as we observe, as we navigate, as we let go the old jazz, why not? And so our guides, our ancestors are doing dances for us and want to meet us and help us. And when we can, go within, whether it's for 3 minutes or 20 minutes or a half hour, or maybe you have 2, or maybe it's a few minutes every other day, but just do it. I have to do it too. I have to start walking again. I've made no time to walk. It's like I haven't wanted to, but it's really good when you walk in the woods and talk to trees. Yeah. Okay. Now, I have two cards that are slightly upside down, and I may have mentioned that when I pull them. This author has not wanted us to read cards upside down. The reason I am is because it's not that the cards are that way backwards. We had a temporary hold up. And one card actually kind of compliments and might even contradict me as I was just talking, because this card is you hold in your heart a space to be filled. You hold in your heart a space to be filled. But it was like this. So temporarily, it would seem, okay, you can be nicer in your answers. Okay, you can help people more. Okay, everything's just learning. Sometimes it comes out a certain way and it's messy. But this woman is coming out of her cave of having secluded herself away, and her bosoms are full. She's full of life. She really has a lot to give. She has a big heart. You have a big heart. Maybe you have a big bosom. I hope you're laughing. Our hearts are connected to every other heart on the planet. And we can have more love and compassion for people than we think. We can have compassion for evil, not condoning evil, not making excuses for evil, but compassion, that's the frequency of love, to help it transmute, go up to infinite mind. And it don't penetrate us and bother, it rolls away from us. Because you ain't afraid of it. You're mastering yourself in that frequency. So you hold in your heart a space to be filled. But temporarily, we sometimes forget. Maybe that happened today or this week. Did it happen for me? I think for me, sometimes when I feel like that, oh, I could have been kinder. Oh, I could have said that slightly different. I feel like, oh, was I not in my heart? But I can tell you, even the things that I'm learning about myself, there's a lot of times I don't feel like I'm not in my heart. I don't feel like evil on people and that I forgot myself and got all twisted. But I felt like for the moment that's the best I could do. And no, I gotta take care of myself. And it's kind of like you see people on the side of the road that have a flat tire, and sometimes you can't stop. You're going too fast. Even if you're in the closest lane, you're going for your own appointment, and you can say them a prayer, but you can't stop to help. And sometimes it doesn't really feel right. Like it's not your number. You're not the one to go stop and help them or pull over when you get in, back up on the highway. So you just have to recognize those vibes in you and just say, okay. I don't even know that we should qualify and say I'll do better next time. I don't even think we should qualify that. I think we should just say, I had an experience. I did best I could, and I wish those people well. And I'm rising higher and higher in vibration every day. Yes. Because I'm willing to observe, because I'm willing to change my definitions around, because I'm willing to be accountable. You're good. And then the other one that's upside down, this is really a good one. Remember to ask the right questions. So temporarily, there are many people all over the planet who have not asked the right questions. There are many people who will probably see this one day. You have not asked the right questions. That young lady and her friend did not ask the right questions. I did not ask the right questions. I should have asked the right questions, got more information before I even started to sort of think if I could help him pull into the stupid, wonky Disney World drive-through. Like it felt like, why am I going into this thing? It doesn't even feel right. What am I doing? It's like, no, I can't. Wasn't gonna work. Remember to ask the right questions. So, and that's a art. It's an art to ask the right question. It's an art because it's like sometimes you think it's the right question, but it needs to be tweaked to this other question. Another question. It might lead to 5 questions, but asking the right question to start is observing, is checking in with yourself, observation of the land, but mostly also letting yourself feel the vibe of what to do next, too. So remember to ask the right question. And I do think at this time on the planet, we're learning. Remember, all right, I'm not going to sound very nice. For all the people out there who currently are famous psychics or card readers, if you had known about what was going on really the last 60 to 200 years, then in your age, whatever your age is now, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you would have motherfucking had this all handled. You'd be right up there with the other famous true conspiracy people. You would have written books. You would have been on platforms. You would have been shouting and shouting and shouting, and most of you know. It's only recently that you've kind of been feeling, wow, there's more going on than I knew. It's this and this and this. But you still bring your own slant into the different topics because that's you and your growth. Well, this is me and my growth. And anybody who's listening who's ready. So if y'all famous, whatever you make a year, $100,000, $60,000, or 30, whatever it is you made because you are whatever, these people we observe, they didn't know. They're a divine being in a human body doing their best, asking the right questions, making up new questions, making up new definitions, observing, responding, and rising in vibration more than less. And also, because they are more seen, sometimes they mess up. They're not quite completely psychic every second. They sometimes show their true colors, but who they're going to help and who they judge. They sometimes make their own little accusations, or they don't show up as often when they're not on. They don't, in terms of accuracy, they don't, in terms of their own feelings of evolution, they only show up when they're polished at their best. And I think it's a time to show up and be transparent. Do best you can in readings. Show up and be transparent. Risk. Risk more. Risk more. Risk. Take risks. Jump out there. If there's no net, it'll all be over soon. If you trust, there'll be a net. And besides, there's only life after life. Your soul is immortal. Once we stop the breath of the bodies that we're in, the soul will leave and go back to all that is. It's just how it is. It goes back to infinite consciousness. The wheel of karma, you have a right to stop that. It supposedly is stopping. You have the mastery to say, I'm not going to keep getting on the wheel of karma and make retribution. I was fat in one life, I'm thin in this, I'm thin in now, I'm going to be fat in the other. I was a murderer in one life, I'm going to be a saint in this life. You can petition heaven, you can petition about your soul, and you can say, the wheel of karma and my unworthiness is over. You can say things like, I do not consent to evil, I rebuke, I rebut, I let go any contracts that are less than 100% pure love. I rebuke, I rebut, I let go, I rescind. I am now the I am presence. And I will grow and I will glow and I will radiate. If I want to come back, I'll come back. I'm going to have a good life. I want to make contributions to the planet. I want to make really uplifting contributions to my life and other people's lives. You don't have to suffer. The day of martyrdom is gone. The day of struggle is really gone. It's more observing new definitions, how we're behaving, letting go, mastering ourselves, and going, whoops, okay, I'm gonna do it like this tomorrow. I'll just do it like this tomorrow. I'll just do that like that tomorrow. Whatever. I'll be fine. You are fine. And reaching out more to people, reaching out to people, even energetically. Yeah. So let's see. My number 8 and my number 7. Prepare for, so this last card about asking the right questions, prepare for a spiritual awakening. Good fortune, good luck. All these cards are pointing to good luck and money and abundance and in our upliftment and our mastery. Good fortune, good luck, synchronized events. The realm, be open to the realm of divine, the realm of divine vibration, your vibration. Be open to creating new definitions. And 8 is abundance, prosperity, infinite supplies, what you need. The sign of success. Boost your self-confidence, right? Through our mastery, through the amnesia lifting, to taking care of ourselves, through this observance, this responding, our confidence is boosting, trusting that vibe in not judging nice and not nice. It's just even sometimes if it's just matter of fact, like, you know, I don't like this. I feel either used or you're kind of taking advantage and it doesn't feel right. You didn't ask me, you didn't set it up that way. You gotta say these things and because it teaches other people and it may have brought up, you know, their struggles, but you gotta take care of yourself first. And it's kind of like also think about a kitty with the claws. Kitties should never really be declawed, but some people do. And some people, when they do it, they don't realize, they really, really don't realize the cat misses their claws because they do this, they need it for their protection. I think it makes their paws sore a little bit. But the truth is, with a lot of people, they don't really do it from the intention of wanting to cause any pain or doing it from being even stupid. Just do it because they were told it's the right thing or they think it will be all right for the cat and better for their house. So they make some decisions that they could sometimes later just regret because they didn't realize they should have asked how the cat feels about it. It's okay. So I want to see what this other author says about 8 and 7. I think I read it. So 7 is the energy of seeking wisdom and the force of decision making that is associated with the element. I am at crossroads and I need to choose wisely for the highest good of all, including myself. I draw upon my wisdom and experience, trusting spirit will help me in this process. Yes, follow those vibes because when you take care of you, oh, they removed the first knuckle. I didn't know it was the knuckle. Ouch. So I think that would kind of make them a little sore at times. If there would be that soreness, they have to get healed. They have to heal from that. It's very interesting, isn't it, what we do? And we don't realize we're doing it till later sometimes. So this is even speaking to the decisions, to taking care of ourselves, the being in that vibe, being in that creation, being in that space. And 8 is the energy of movement from one state to another. Our ascension, our mastery, our moving from this is not meant to be kind, this is not meant to be dominant, ain't just gonna happen. Not meant to be unkind, not meant to be dominant, not meant to even make you feel your unworthiness. I'm sorry if it does. I really say a prayer for you. I have to take care of myself. I've come this far. I can trust myself in stepping forward into new territory. The past no longer determines my future. I am fearlessly going forth with spirit at my side. I am truly ready for change. So we have to be open to our own change, to our own, feeling a little discomfort about making up new definitions or standing for what we feel in the moment, even that we might not normally do. So yeah, I've never myself had a cat declawed. I know of people who have. They're told that it's fine. The cat will be fine and all that. And I remember wanting to soothe someone who did not know she'd never had a cat and she just got new furniture. And someone suggested she declaw. She did. Someone ranked her out in front of me. And I spoke up and just said, remember that your intent was not one of harm. Your intent was something to create more peace. And had you known or had time to think about it, you probably wouldn't have done, but your action was not done out of a miscreation for causing harm. Your intention behind what you did was to just provide some ease, and you didn't think. So you went by what someone told you and you trusted, and let it be okay, because what's done is done. Just, it's now that when we do declaw those pets, they are our responsibility because they cannot defend themselves, right? That's why they have them, to get away from us, to get away from other assailants, to get away from something that scares them, to protect themselves against, prey that perhaps is powerful and gaining, and they can climb a tree, or they can, grasp onto something, or at least in a corner, do their best in their survival skills. And then it's been a circle. It's been, you know, there is life and death every day. So we must just be in our hearts instead of more judgment. And that's the best we can do, because what's done is done. Until such a time the pets can go into med beds and maybe get their claws back. Yeah. So let's see what angel number 888 means, and if there's an 8888 difference. Angel number 888.
According to Psych News Daily, the main 888 angel number meaning is success and financial good luck. If the universe is sending you 888, you're moving in the right direction. The 888 angel number meaning is usually a good one.
In fact, it may be one of the most positive angel messages you can receive. I'm just going to see if is there an angel number 8888?
According to Sarah Scoop, angel number 88 is a sign from the angels that it's time to take better care of yourself in different ways. The vibration of the number 8 symbolizes strength, stability, and endurance, a balance of all things you need to be healthy and well.
Did I understand? So currently it's not giving me 4 8s in a row. However, everything that's coming through is really wonderful, right? So we're taking care of ourselves, we're speaking up, we're observing, we're wanting to navigate through any mess or bumpiness, letting it be okay, making due definitions, and knowing that we're watched and that our good fortune is all about us, especially because we're willing to expand, grow, be in our mastery, take that on, and also not fudge ourselves. Again, it's not wanting to dominate others or truly be unkind or harm, but it is about speaking up. Sometimes it comes out messy, sometimes it comes out clear and even with more heart involved. And we're learning. We're learning like, oh, was that my fear that came up? I have an old definition of how I should be for everybody. And sometimes it isn't like that. And it doesn't mean you were evil. It just means it was an experience to observe, to let go. And you're navigating through a path to divine yourself and claim your mastery. All right? I hope that this was really good. Oh, just for fun of it, let's see. Well, number 7, of course, is prepare for spiritual awakening. But I wonder what the number 7 is. I'm just kind of curious to see if that was something that should have come up at the end. They have a lot of fire signs that keep on coming up with the tarot, and I'm not showing you because obviously we have this reading that goes on forever. Let's just see if the 7 of fire is anything that will complement this, just because it's staring me in the face. Personal best, going the distance, perseverance, non-conformity. This complements the end of everything I just said. I'm unstoppable. My passion pushes obstacles aside as I engage in sustained effort. I know how to bend, but I don't compromise on what's most important to me. If others aren't happy with the course I am on, I don't have to let their concerns affect me. I release the temptation to resist challenges, and I trust that I can make things happen as I live life on my own terms. Inspired solutions now present themselves. So personal best, going the distance, perseverance, and nonconformity. You're doing all that when you observe and you're navigating yourself through messes, changing definitions, showing up, taking care of your vibe, saying what you have to say, doing your best that very, very moment. You are powered by the stars. You are love and light put into a human form to experience all this great stuff. And right now in the world, things do look messy, and yet things are being handled more so than us common folk in the moment can see. Because mainstream media is going to give us only so much, even though there's truth in what they say. It's more like observe the script, and then there's stuff that's being handled on deep levels of to getting rid of evil and corruption that has to run its course. And I think that we are in a good way. Otherwise, I couldn't have this conversation with you. I'd already have been booted from this house. Um, there wouldn't be a way to communicate with you. So I wish you are at peace tonight and having some fun. It's 8:47. I still have to soak my feet, take a shower, and hopefully get into bed pretty much within another hour or less. Yeah. My little coyote heart loves you. Have a great night. Thank you, thank you, thank you.